So you're in Vancouver, your cruise is over, the cruise line kicks you off that ship at about 10:30 in the morning, and your flight doesn't leave till 5, 6, 7, maybe even later in the evening. And you've got to try to figure out what the heck are you going to do all day in Vancouver. Well, I'm a local, I know my way around, and I've got a few suggestions that you're not going to hear every day.
My name is Stuart, this is Ship to Shore Cruise News, let's get into it.
So as I said, you're in Vancouver, you've got hours to kill, and you're trying to figure out what the heck am I going to do. I don't want to sit at the airport all day. Nobody wants to do that. I have, because of flight delays in LA. That wasn't too much fun, but anyway, that's a different story, and that's a different video as well. Anyway, you're stuck in Vancouver, it's summertime, you're looking for something to do. If you're in Vancouver between, say, June and the end of October, you're going to have some very wonderful weather. Could be raining, but if it's not, the weather is going to be anywhere probably hovering around the mid-20s in Celsius to the mid-30s in Celsius. And for those of you in the United States, for Fahrenheit, you're probably looking at high 80s to low 100s. I'll just throw that in there. It's a huge range, but you're going to have something like that. So you can be guaranteed it's not going to be a cold, rainy day. Well, it could be rainy, but it's not going to be too cold. It's going to be nice. The weather's going to be comfortable, and you're not going to have to be all bundled up. Anyway, I have some suggestions of what you can do in Vancouver. If you have other suggestions, put it down in the comments below. Let me know as well what you think people would like to know. And if you're interested in seeing other people's suggestions, read the comments to see what other people suggest. Anyway, I'm going to get into a list of items here. A list of excursions you can do. They're in no particular order. These are just ones that I picked up randomly. And what I'm going to try to do when I go through them is I'm just going to try to go by theme-based. So I'm going to start with water-based activities that you can do. So the first one I'm going to mention is very Alaska cruise related. If you were on the Alaskan cruise and you didn't do an excursion to go whale watching and you feel like you might have missed out a little bit, don't worry. There's about 3 companies, maybe more, in the lower mainland that do 3 to 5 hour whale watching tours of the local orca pods that are swimming around in the area. These boats, you can have something very intimate where you're on a Zodiac, or you can be in a fully enclosed boat as well, and they'll get up within limits, staying out of the proper limits because you're only allowed to get so close, where you can observe these animals playing together out in the ocean. That's a wonderful experience that you can do. Another experience that you can do out on the water around the lower mainland is you can do harbor tours, and there's different opportunities and different options that you have. If you're interested in going by a Zodiac, you can do a waterfront sightseeing Zodiac where they'll take you around the city, show you the heights from the water, and show you the harbors as well. And I say harbors because there's not just one. There's many options you can do and many areas that you can see as well around the lower mainland. If you're thinking of something a little bit longer on the water in a Zodiac as well, you can go a little bit farther out than just the harbor, and you can go on a city and seal scenic boat tour as well. And they'll take you a little bit out of the city, out into the country, I guess you could say, along the waterfront, where there's going to be loads and loads of seals basking in the sun or basking on the rocks for you to see. It's quite an experience, and it's very fun to do. Again, still on the water, there's another tour you can do. It's about 3 hours, and they take you farther up the harbors where the cruise lines just can't get to, up an area called Indian Arm. And you can go and see some beautiful waterfalls flowing into the water there. The Granite Falls Zodiac Tour is a 3-hour adventure. Something you can do. It'll take up some of your time of your day, and it's another thing, another experience that you can add to your entire Alaska cruise. Finally, you can do harbor tours in big boats and big tour boats around the lower mainland. One such tour you can do in a paddle boat, and they will take you into a Vancouver harbor sightseeing cruise throughout the Lower Mainland. Beautiful experience. I see it out there, and people are always telling me how much fun they have. If you're not interested in going out into the water, there are other things to do. You can do the classic hop on, hop off tour bus. That's a bus. It goes around the Lower Mainland, around the city, and it stops at some of the more touristy attraction areas. It's going to be going to Stanley Park, Gastown, Chinatown. It's going to go through the business district. It's going to go to Granville Island, Bloedel Conservatory, and Butchart Gardens as well. So you're going to be able to see all those touristy places. Hop on, hop off bus. Very convenient. Double-decker buses, so you can sit up top, and if you just want to ride the bus all day and sit up there and take in the sights, feel free to do so. They'll be more than happy to let you do that. Another option is, if you are a little bit more active and you like to bike ride, you can actually do a bike ride tour of Stanley Park. It was a guided tour of the area, and they'll go over the local history of the park, talk about how there was a community there at one time. They'll talk about how the Haida Nation had camps there and a community there as well, and they'll go over the local totem poles. And perhaps you might want to visit the aquarium while you're at Stanley Park, and that's a very nice experience as well. Also in Vancouver, another short excursion you could do is possibly a private car that will pick you, your group up, your luggage. They will take you for a tour around the Lower Mainland, go to places that you want to go, or they'll take you where they think you'd like to see, and they'll still get you back at the airport for your flight on time. Also make sure that there's time to get through security, customs, and all that fun stuff there at the airport, which nobody wants to do. And yes, you will be going through customs at the Canadian airport before your flight back to the United States. What else is there to do? Well, there are culinary tours. So if you're a foodie, you can get on a VIP tour of where you're going to be visiting some unforgettable restaurants in the Lower Mainland and have tastings at each one of these. That can be an experience tailored to your tastes and your needs. Check the links below. You can also get a look around Chinatown. It's on foot, led by a local chef who's going to talk about the cuisine and the local food areas. One point of note about Chinatown in Vancouver is that it's the second largest Chinatown on the west coast of North America. San Francisco's Chinatown is the only one on the west coast that's larger than Vancouver. So I've gone over a few options for you of what to do in Vancouver. You can do a tour up to Bloedel Conservatory on what we call Little Mountain. It's sort of the highest point within the city where you can actually get a really beautiful view of the area. And the conservatory has some very rare and exotic plants and animals up there as well. You've got the aquarium, which you can go and visit. Another option I didn't tell you, and there's no link down below to this, but you can go to Playland. It's at our location where we have the Pacific National Exhibition. So Playland is a fairground. You've got all the rides you're going to see at other fairs as well. You're going to see a wooden roller coaster. That's right, this is a wooden roller coaster. It's extremely scary because you'll be riding and you can feel it actually lift off the rails a little bit and jump and move side to side. So if you really like roller coasters, this one's one for you. Do a online search of wooden roller coasters, and I'm sure you're going to see the one in Vancouver at Playland. And so you're going to see different fair rides there as well. And then there's the food. You're going to get the popcorn, the cotton candy. You're going to get the hamburgers and hot dogs, and I don't need to go on about this. You already know what you're going to find there. So there's a lot of things to do in Vancouver after your Alaska cruise. Take your time, enjoy the city. There's more options than what I've said. If you can think of something I haven't said, please put it down before, because there's so many things to do. Also, I am a travel agent. If you are interested in booking something in Vancouver, or you want more suggestions, just send me an email. Okay, PM me, DM me, whatever, contact me, and I can come up with suggestions, and I don't have to book them for you. I'm more than happy just to give you the information. Anyway, when you're in Vancouver after your cruise, you know, there's all these beautiful things you can do in this beautiful area. The locals take it for granted. And like I said before, you could just hang out on the beach all day. Beautiful weather, beautiful sunshine, beautiful west coast. I call it the California of Canada. And as I was saying, there's 3 things that you really have to remember when you're thinking about Vancouver after your Alaska cruise. And that's, my name's Stuart, this is Ship to Shore Cruise News, and as always, get your cruise on. You've just finished your Alaska cruise and... Hey! It's gonna go to, where's my brain at? And restaurants in the area, and this is a walking tour of North America's West Coast, and this will be a foot tour. You can also get a Facebook groups, Cruise Critic, travel, and you can come and you can take a look at these items here. And I'm going to stop this video because I'm going to start all over. Also in Vancouver, there are city sightseeings with the port tour. If you're also looking for something to do out on the water, if you're going to other countries, there's another method as well. What else is there to do? Over the cuisine.